Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah. Koholoim la Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Bahashim. Kahakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to stick the water toward the Akim and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yah Hanan Nawah, just coming at you with another quick lesson. Praying that it's edifying by the Spirit and, one of those little articles that'll piss you off, but at the same time, too, we do understand that we are under the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28 as a people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You are Israelites. And because of our disobedience to the Father Yahweh, which the world ignorantly calls God, Ahaya, and, all these different names or what they think to be names or titles. His name is Yahweh, which means that he exists or the existing one. And the true name of his son is Yahweh Shai, which means that he's the savior or deliverer in the Paleo Hebrew, right? The Lord's name is not Jesus. He's not some white guy with blonde hair, blue eyes. If he was walking the earth today, he would be a so-called black man, right? But this just shows you the hatred that Esau has for our people. And it's a perpetual hatred. And this is why we say to pray and to be circumspect and never trust this man. Clearly the scripture says to never trust thine enemy, but like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. But this this is a clear example right here of just how petty they are and how they get down. So this is in Raw Story. It says woman skips roofing bill by calling ICE when workers finish. So she waited on the guys to finish the work. You know what I'm saying? And then, she called ICE on them, man, which is fucked up, But anyway, American Immigration Council senior fellow Aaron Rachlin Melnick reacted in horror on Thursday to an allegation that a woman in Maryland hired a team of Guatemalan contractors to redo her roof at an expense of $10,000. Waited until they were done, then called immigration and customs enforcement on them to try and get out of paying the bill. The X account that posted a video of the alleged incident stated, woman even provides the ladder used by agents to detain men who she owes $10,000 for a 3-day job. She called the damn law on us, and now we're totally screwed, men yelled in Spanish. They surrounded us. Agents even left behind the worker's van with doors wide open, filled with thousands of dollars of work tools. The arrest was broadcast live for about 30 minutes by a co-worker identified as Brian Polanco. And it's fucked up, man. Left the dudes, they truck. You already know Esau ran through ramshack that bitch if it was in the Edomite neighborhood. So, and again, this is, that type of hatred that Esau has for you, Jake, man. Let me just go into the scriptures. We don't even have to go no further. And even, what pissed me off even more was going into the comments, which wasn't surprising. The comment boards, with these Edomites. That's the way these Edomites think, man. They all cheering that shit on and rooting for this doofy bitch. But when I was looking at this too earlier, because you have Edomites that's in the comment boards cheering this mayhem on, and not knowing that you're being cheated, you're enslaved, your own people got you working day to day and holding on to your pay throughout the week and holding on to your pay every 2 weeks or a month, depends on when you do get paid. They're supposed to be paying you every single day if they're really Christians. If this is really a Christian country. See, if they were really Christians, they would let the land Sabbath go through, let their land rest. But here you go now, through your evil and wickedness and not being able to fucking contain yourself. You have the oil prices through the roof where now your farmers can't even get this bullshit ass fertilizer that they need to plant your stupid ass some food. But if they were to just let the land Sabbath go down every 7th year, treat the land the way that the Lord told you to treat it, then you would get some increase out of it. But you've sucked the complete, you sucked the soil dry. But this is another portion of, paying a person at the end of their shift. You should be getting paid every single day. I've been going into this. Your life would be a whole lot easier if you were getting your pay every single day at the end of your shift. not waiting a week away. If you made $100 today, don't you think your $100 would benefit you today? And then he's holding on to it, and as they hold on to it, the bulk of what they're holding on to is more taxes being taken out, as opposed to is less taxes if they were to pay you daily. Doofy. But you're not fighting for that. You're cheering this kind of shit on. Anyway, Deuteronomy 24. I'm going to start at verse 14 in the Amplified Bible. It says, "You shall not take advantage of an hired servant who is poor and needy, whether he is one of your countrymen or one of the strangers, resident aliens, foreigners, who is in your land inside your cities. You shall give him his wages on the day that he earns them before the sun sets, for he is poor and is counting on it, so that he does not cry out to the Lord against you, and it becomes a sin for you." And see, a problem with our people too is, Northern Kingdom, they're real big on white Jesus, which is an idol. They really believe that a so-called white man, they believe in the so-called white man coming to save them more than so-called white people believe in so-called white Jesus, which is an idol. But if they were really into these scriptures and they was calling out to Yahweh, why Yahweh shy, this bitch will be in real trouble. She's still in trouble though, because the Lord's law goes out. It's just his word goes out. His word shall not return to him void. So whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. She has no idea that, you know what I'm saying, she's not going to get away with that shit. She's not going to get away with it, man. But anyway, matter of fact, let's get that in Galatians 6 and 7. And again, I was reading the comments and I'm just like, this shit is just, the shit pisses you off, bro. But at the same time, too, we understand that we're under the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28, and we have to just be steadfast and just stand, man, and wait till this ass whipping is over that the Lord has given us, because he really put it on us, man. But he's gonna give you so-called white people the same shit that you put on us, and you other nations as well. Now this is Galatians 6 and 7. It says, "Be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked. But whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." So whatever you've done, however you treat people, it's gonna land back on you. It's just, that's just the way that the Lord set it up. And let's get Job 34 and 29 to prove that he deals with these nations like that. So the same way that he has us so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in captivity to you so-called white people, you so-called white people are going to go into captivity to us. Because you're gonna have to pay that tab, man. You're not getting away with that tab. Job 34 and 29. It's a lot. Where we at? When he giveth quietness. Now this is talking about Yahweh the Father. When he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only. So see, this is clear proof that the Lord, he deals with nations of people when he deals with the individual men, women, and children within those nations. And Esau, he's a complete goddamn thief. He's been doing this since his inception, man. Think about how he got America. Now, this is Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away." So you can't trust these people. Now imagine these people, they was like, okay, well, we're charging you $10,000, but we're gonna need 5,000 down. And they just took the 5,000 and they bailed on the bitch. She would be all up in arms about that 5,000 that she cheated them out of. Police will be called. You talking about ecstatic. You talking about fucking rage. But again, like I said, I was going through the comment boards, and Esau, he's with it. Oh, that's so genius. That's such I can't. No sympathy whatsoever, man. No empathy whatsoever for those men losing their vehicle, losing their tools, and being rounded up, man. No sympathy for if they got family at home. The women, generally are at the crib. They wondering where their men are at, wondering where their sons is at, their fathers, they're not thinking about whether or not these men got children. So see, that kind of play This is what's gonna happen to you, so-called white people, man. Matter of fact, let me see. What is that? Let me go to the blue letter real quick. Yeah, man. Be careful how you treat people. You don't know who you dealing with. But these are Israelites, man. But again, we under those curses, man. So we got to go through the thing, man. This is Isaiah 14 and 21. Whew, yeah, that amplified ain't no joke. It says, in the amplified, it says, prepare a slaughtering place for his sons because of the wickedness, the sin, the injustice, the wrongdoing of their fathers, because they've been doing this since the inception of America. They must not rise and take possession of the earth and fill the face of the world with cities where they won't be able to no more. Once the Lord give us our power back, man, once he switches us up and take us back to our land, and we come back up to our rightful state, these motherfuckers will never ever in their life put a brick on top of another brick. Never, bro. Unless it's for us, and something that we want built. It won't be for they asses. Let me get this one in Ezekiel 35 and 5. So you have to realize who your enemies are. These people are not your friends, man. I seen one person, I assume it was an Edomite. They put it in the comment board that, and it was a woman from the looks of the icon or whatever, her little whatever. But she was like, basically not all of them are like that. And that still doesn't make a difference because she has some kind of feelings, you know what I'm saying? That don't make no difference, man. We're still to look at all of them as our enemies, from goddamn little baby to a fucking old ass woman on a cane. They're enemies of ours, man. These people are not our friends. They're not designed to treat you like friends, man. Anyway, Ezekiel 35 and 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel, by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God. The Lord is basically swearing on himself. I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And this is talking about you Edomites, man, you so-called white people. That's your biblical nationality. You're not running around out here looking like a glass of milk. You're not running around out here looking like, clouds in the sky. Your asses is Edomites. You're red, pinkish to reddish in color, man. Right? So let's get on one more. Because this is Esau right here in a nutshell, right here in Psalms 73. Let me start at verse 3. It says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. So ain't nothing really gonna happen to this lady. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness, they have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression, they speak loftily. And that's what's going on, because like I said, when I was going into the comment boards, and I'm looking at these people and the way that they were responding, they speak wickedly concerning oppression, man. It just is what it is, and so they're gonna have to pay for what they've done, man. And when we see shit happening to that's why when people see stuff happening to them, nobody shows no sympathy or empathy for them anymore. That's like when the Texas flood went down. Remember when that flood went down and all those so-called white people got swept away? And they don't even talk about that shit no more. That ain't even been that long ago. But once that went down and you looked at the comment boards and the stories, all you could see was people just talking shit about them. Like they didn't give a fuck. Like good for your ass. And this is pretty much about how the world is starting to look at Esau. Esau is starting to be looked down upon. And really in reality, they can see it, they know it, they know that they have a fall, and They're going to come down with that great wrath because they know that they have but a short time. But see, Donald Trump, and somebody left that in the comment board too. That Donald Trump, he was he was the perfect catalyst to Edomites actually showing who they really are. You know, to them showing what America is really about and what America has always been. And so that's just Esau, telling on themselves. So don't, because they tell on each other. Let me go back a couple of chapters here. Just because they tell on each other, that don't mean that you should be trusting them. No, okay, you told a little bit of truth and that's it. Because other than that, your ass will generally be lying. I think it's 64:8. Psalm 64:8. And so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. See, they'll tell on each other, but it's not to the point of them actually saying that, okay, it's me, I'm a part of it too. They just thinking like, okay, I'm a person that I'm different from them, that's them. It's the Democrats, or they might say, oh, it's the Republicans, or it's the liberals. Well, it's you Edomites in general. It's your whole system. It's you people. You're the people that have the whole world fucked up, and you fucking everybody over like that. This is not something that this woman just does. You do this as a nation. You fuck people. You fuck nations over like this. Have them do something for you, give all these promises and shit like that, and then you don't keep your end of the bargain. And that's what America's always been known for. So I'm gonna end out with that. I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwame Yasha Allah and a Bible ball.